I don't have a lot of movement. I can't really escape anywhere, but I have to move. I can't just be stuck here. So I'm gonna practice doing that like auto turn. It reminds me of like a joystick auto turn, where sometimes they're here, then in a second's notice, they're like not there. So think about it. That could be a trap that you could set with repetition. So if we're here, right-handed to lefty, step off cross, step off cross, step off cross. But I'll show it as a right-hander, I'll show it left after. So a slip as a right-hander, hit the angle, big right hand, boom. This is your power hand. Remember that. Your power hand in this motion, after you've hit that angle, is like huge. It feels like you're gonna Mortal Kombat uppercut him. Jester, you asked how to not get hit. I need to know how to not get hit. Basic boxing 101 stuff. Basic boxing 101, find a partner, go into customs, throw at about 50-60% speed. Slowly get used to slipping, rolling hooks. You should be able to see the hook coming and roll the hook, and then get in your stance. He throws a jab, I slip the jab, maybe I throw my own, he slips because it's a jab cross. That's how you're gonna build that muscle memory up when it comes to head movement. So again, things like head movement, go into custom, 50% with your partner, and slowly build it to 60%, and then 70%. Not all in a day, maybe after a week of 50%, we go a week of 60. But that's how you're gonna build that muscle memory when it comes to really naturally slipping things. I could teach you how to do it, but really I'm gonna guide you in the process because it takes muscle memory and it takes time to build that muscle memory. But you also told me that you go to both stances, 50% lefty, 50% righty, and that warms my heart. We're gonna go over two things that you can do to make sure that stance switching really does amplify your punches and keep you off the line. Because yes, you asked to not get hit. The slipping and the movement is a part of it, which you can build over time. But today we're gonna talk about getting off the line. So when your punches, where my opponent is throwing punches, you're not there. First one is my favorite. It's a left-handed step off the line. I'm gonna beat that front leg. My opponent is right-handed. So his left leg is forward, I'm left-handed, so my right leg is forward. My right leg needs to beat his lead leg from who's on the outside. Now let's talk about everything that's gonna come after just beating that lead side leg. So I'm here, beat the outside leg, that's all it is. I'm here, my opponent's here. It's a slight step off the line. Step off and I'm here for a second until he readjusts. My left hand down the pipe with my head perfectly off the line, his line, remember that, he's still here. So I beat the leg, I can throw the left hand down the pipe, and that alone is a weapon. So think about it, that could be a trap that you could set with repetition. So if we're here, right-handed to lefty, step off cross, step off cross, step off cross. Do you think after 4, 5, 6 of those, my opponent's gonna be either A, still standing, or B, allowing me to do it? Best case scenario, dead. But the most likely scenario is that he didn't get TKO'd and he's now moving off of that cross. So now a simple step off left hand in repetition has called a reaction from my opponent that isn't just getting whiplashed. So maybe after the step off angle, he starts to move. So maybe my step off angle has put me off the line, out of danger. It's also landed to do damage. And it's also caused a reaction from my opponent, which is the retreat, which now I can counter that retreat. So we're here, step off, head off the line, throw the left, my opponent retreats, back leg fishtails up, and I keep on attacking with my own aggressive push. Keep in mind, if you're gonna switch to a right-handed stance, that lead side battle doesn't exist anymore. Lefty, landing the left, stepping through, attacking as a right-hander, but watch, I can always roll to that big cross side, here, fishtail the leg, and I'm back into my left-handed stance. It always depends on what my opponent does, but again, laying out the scenario where I step off, ah, boom, 1, doesn't like it, cool. Step off 2, good, boom, he doesn't like it. Good, let's say by the second time he learned his lesson. By the time this happens, I throw a cross and he's already away. Maybe the cross doesn't even land. He used footwork to counter my big cross that I'm doing. Then again, backside look, backside finishes, I attack. From here, I can fishtail again off of this cross side. Watch, I bring the cross back, fishtail, here, and I'm back as a lefty, here fighting. You said you like to switch your stances 50% of the time. That's literally a combination where you can switch in the middle of the combination, depending on the motion of my opponent. All by a step outside punch. Everything after the step out in left hand is my own fun way of attacking. Everything after the step out and cross can be up to you, and it's always going to be based on what my opponent does. I can't flow that whole combination if my opponent is on the ground, or no, if my opponent is moving a different angle or moving a different direction, or maybe he's throwing in his own pocket there. So I can't, maybe he's not going to be pushed back. I don't know. So it always depends on what my opponent does. So play with that a little bit. Remember, it's VR, so you can take bigger chances. The second one is motion whenever I don't have a lot of room. Let's say these 4 squares right here, maybe my opponent is stuck in this little shoebox that he put me in, and now we're here fighting where I don't have a lot of movement. I can't really escape anywhere, but I have to move. I can't just be stuck here. So I'm gonna practice doing that like auto turn. It reminds me of like a joystick auto turn, where sometimes they're here, then in a second's notice, they're like not there. So it's similar, but it's not that. So my opponent is here in front of me where I can throw punches. We're kind of stuck in this bubble. So I'm gonna do a similar angle, but I'm gonna do it where I can switch my stances because of the angle that I hit. Watch, I'm here right-handed. I can throw big. Whenever I slip to my left, it's gonna load my hips and load this spring motion that's gonna send me to an angle here. My right leg goes where my left goes out, and my feet turn the other way. I'm here, I'm throwing my combination. Whenever ready, I slip, send out. Here, I'm facing a different angle, and I'm also a completely different stance. So my opponent's right in front of me. So again, as a right-hander, you can do this either way, but I'll show it as a right-hander, I'll show it left after. So a slip as a right-hander, hit the angle, big right hand, boom. This is your power hand, remember that. Your power hand in this motion, after you've hit that angle, is like huge. It feels like you're gonna Mortal Kombat uppercut him. So I can throw that big hand, and then the big cross if he doesn't go anywhere because we're stuck in this space. But if he did, then you can always body shot, left hand, bring this lead leg forward. So body shot, left hand, and then march forward this way if he runs. But if you're stuck to that space, then we're here, slip, get off the line, boom, boom, boom. Maybe I reverse the motion, boom, 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 boom. See, in a tight motion, you can still kind of, sit here and make these circles depending on where he's going. I can keep on going. And remember, repetition is everything. And you see it in so many different styles and variations. So many people, even in the Discord, it seems like the uneducated let me be nice. It seems like the people that don't know think that there is a one size fits all for everything. And it's like the fallback, where if someone posts a video and their hands are low, or if they didn't turn over their hips all the way, it's like, oh, this guy sucks. He's gamifying it. The truth is that your style, it may be different than mine. You may play totally different or fight totally different than me. We may have similar results with totally different ways of going about it, training it and practicing it. So yes, get into customs, 50% slowly, 60% build your way up for that muscle memory to get used to getting out of the way of punches. That way, eventually you're ready for 100% pace. But then these two footwork drills, the one where I'm just simply getting off the line, and you can do as a right-hander too, not just as a lefty, or the one where I am skipping off and creating these small circles around maybe a tight area. Think of those as like seeds. So this isn't just one motion, and this is how to do it. It's one motion, and up to you and your style and your body type, that seed will grow into whatever you do the most, whatever you have the most repetition on. And if that repetition is, slip here in a big left hand and a big right hand, then you're gonna get very good at that particular motion. We know these things, but if you haven't been told it before, especially in a combative sport environment, maybe it's not so obvious. So practice what you like, practice what you have success with. Try your best to fine-tune your boxing foundation. If you know nothing about boxing, you've never done a boxing class in your life, start with a boxing foundation. And over time, you're gonna develop a style of your own in that, and then you can branch off and take bigger risks. But the beauty of it is that it's VR, so you can take bigger risks a little sooner without having to go to the hospital. But Jester, I hope you enjoyed the video, man. I hope the footwork and the angles make you understand that it's not about just getting off the line and ducking and being John Wick. I guess not really John Wick, more like Neo. Regardless, Keanu Reeves. It's more so about not being where the punches are going to be at to begin with. So if I can simply get off the line, the punches fly, and then I can hit my angle, and then he has to readjust. But by the time he does, I'm throwing my punches and readjusting back the other way. He's constantly chasing his own tail. I'm never going to be where punches are thrown. And then I add my movement, my footwork, and my own offense, which then it's like, okay, now we're on to something. Now we're really getting good. So repetition is everything. Practice, practice, practice. And that practice does not have to be at 110%. Okay. Georges St. Pierre said it best. He said you're only growing if you're doing it playful. Sounds bad now I said it like that. But in the environment where he was in a gym with MMA gloves, it made more sense. But you know what I'm talking about. So if you're in the gym and you're going at that playful speed, you can take bigger chances, you can try things out, and you end up learning more because of that. So take that attitude to the VR world. As always, if you enjoyed videos like this, check out these other two and subscribe right here.